Hi guys and welcome to my channel. I feel like it's been forever since I last filmed and posted a video on here, so I decided that I would share with you my January wrap-up. I can't believe it's already the end of January, the beginning of February, and that means that my internship is going to end in less than a month, and then I will again have a new thing going on in my life, and I don't really know what it's going to be yet. But anyway, in January I managed to read 8 books, and here is the list of books that I managed to read. So the first one is Can We All Be Feminists by June Eric Udori. She's the editor. It's a collection of essays about feminism, race, gender, and intersectionality. It was really great. It's the first book I finished in January and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I would definitely recommend it if you're interested in gender questions and feminism in general. It's a fantastic book, and yeah, it's really great. It's very inspiring and shares points of view from women who come from different origins and have different backstories, and it's really fantastic and interesting. So 2019 was off to a really great start in terms of reading, and I'm really happy about that. Then I'm going to share some ebooks that I managed to read this month, and the first one was Starfish by Akemi Dawn Bowman, and it was on Riveted Lit. It was a free book on Riveted Lit and I just binge read it. It was fantastic. It's about a Japanese American teenager with an abusive mother, and it's kind of a coming of age story. She's also an artist, and it's about a book about art and appreciating yourself. It was a really great book and very moving, and I wrote a review of it on my blog. I gave it 5 stars, definitely 5 stars. It was fantastic. I reviewed it on my blog. I will link it in the description, and I would also really recommend this book. If you like coming of age stories, then that's really a book that you should check out. Then I also read a new release which was called The Gilded Wolves by Roshni Chokshi. You probably have heard about this book because it was just released, and I read so many reviews of this book that you probably have heard of it as well. It's set in Paris at the end of the 19th century, and it's about a kind of quest. There's also some kind of magic. It's a really amazing book, in my opinion. It has a great diverse cast and a kind of Six of Crow vibe, at least in the first part. Then it kind of gets also its own atmosphere. Obviously, it was absolutely fantastic. I also gave it 5 stars, reviewed it on my blog. The link will be in the description, and really hope you check out this book because it was fantastic. Then I also read Michelle Obama's book Becoming. Actually, I listened to it because I got my Audible subscription back, and I've been meaning to read this book ever since its publication. I'm so glad I read it. The audiobook is narrated by Michelle Obama herself, and it was such an inspiring book. I'm so glad that I read it. It just gave me so much hope about my life, and that I could do better, and that even if I hadn't things figured out yet, I still have a lot of time. I'm only 23, and she managed to switch careers 3 times before her husband became president, and she did so many great things. This book was so fantastic. Also gave it 5 stars. This has been such a good reading month. Anyway, it's just a really great book. If you're looking for something inspiring to read, then I would definitely recommend this one. I also listened to another audiobook, which was this time in French. It was a collection of short stories called L'Arbre des Possibles, which would be translated as The Tree of Possibilities or something of the sort. The author was Bernard Werber. It was really original. I don't know how long this has been waiting on my Audible app, and I'm so glad that I finally managed to get around reading it. It's kind of different from what I usually read, but I definitely enjoyed it because it was so original and the short stories were really interesting and with some weird twists which I really enjoyed, so that was also a nice read. Then I've got a bunch of comic books because this month I went to a comic book and art book festival with my internship that was in Angoulême, and I bought some books there, bought some books before. I'm trying to read more comics in general because I want to develop my comic culture and bande dessinée culture, because that's how you call it in French. Anyway, The first I have here is I'm Every Woman by Liv Strömquist, who is a Norwegian or Swedish, let me check, who is a Swedish author. It's a really great story about different women. It kind of has the same vibe as the Brazen series by Penelope Bagier. I don't know if you've heard about it. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot about a lot of women I hadn't heard about before, and I'm so glad that I bought and read this book. I would definitely recommend it as well. I'm not sure it has been translated to English, but if it has, then you should definitely check it out. Then I have this one, which I just finished, which is the Valérian and Laureline series. It's the third volume in the Omnibus Integral series, so it has volume 6, 7, and 8, I believe. It's a science fiction French comic book series, which started, I believe, in the 70s. And if you like Doctor Who or Star Wars, then this is definitely something you could enjoy because it has time travel and space travel. And I gave it 4 stars. I'm trying to read the whole series because it's really popular, famous series in France, and also heard about it in my internship. I actually bought this from the office. I have to return it, and I really enjoyed it. I will be reading the next volume in February. And the last book I have read is another comic book, which is called Charlotte, Empress, the Princess and the Archduke. This was a nominee at the Angoulême Festival, which is why I picked it up. I actually saw it in the comic book shop a few months ago, and I wanted to read it, but I wasn't sure. I was afraid that it was going to be too cheesy, but when I saw that it was a nominee, I knew that I had to pick it up. It's about Carlota of Mexico, who was born Charlotte of Belgium. She was a princess and became the sister-in-law of Franz Joseph of Austria, who was the Emperor of Austria and Hungary at the end of 19th century, beginning of 20th century. It's basically fiction based on historical people. It was really interesting. I learned a lot because I also checked what happened in real life and everything, and I really enjoyed it. The drawings are also quite nice, and I'm so glad that I decided to pick this one up. It was released in 2018, I believe, and yeah, I'm really glad that I picked it up. Now, onto the books that I'm currently reading. I've been reading this book ever since December. It's called Romanesque, and it's a book in French about the French language. It's so interesting. I think I'm about halfway through it. Hopefully I get to finish this one soon because I wanted to go all the way through. I mean, I know this author, he's really biased. I've been informing myself, and I'm trying to put some distance between myself and the reading and not believe word for word everything that he says, but nevertheless, I think it's really interesting and I'm learning things, so that's great. Then I'm also reading on my Kindle Hank Green's book, An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. I'm so glad that I finally picked it up. I've been meaning to read it ever since it was released. I was really looking forward to it. I just started it, so I don't really have an opinion on it, but I was delighted to find out that the main character is 23, so we're exactly at the same kind of thing happening in our lives right now. Just got out of university, starting to work and everything, so that's really great. That's exactly the kind of book that I wanted to read right now, so hopefully you will hear my thoughts about this book very soon. And finally, I'm also reading this. It's the French translation of an Italian comic book series called I Custodi dei Maser by Massimiliano Frezzato. Basically, this was released by the publishing house where I'm working right before I started my internship, and I've been sending copies of this one to bloggers and promoting it and everything, and I hadn't read it yet, so I am maybe I should read it, so I know what I'm talking about. So I just started reading it a few days ago, and I will get around reading this whole series. It's 6 volumes in one, and it's kind of science fiction, and yeah. And I just wanted to show you one more book which I bought at the comic book festival. It's a manga called Manabu by Masako Yoshi, and I don't really know what it's about, but I remember I read the blurb and I was like, this looks nice, and I haven't read the manga in a while, so here we go. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Maybe give it a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos. Hopefully I film at least once or twice a month. Anyway, thanks for watching and I guess I'll see you around. Bye!